In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 tips on how to use a teleprompter to make YouTube videos like a pro. Using a teleprompter is a great way to improve your delivery, make your videos faster, and look a lot more confident on camera. But it's also not as easy as you think to use a teleprompter, so you'll want to stick around for all 5 tips. Tip 1. Write in your own speaking voice. The biggest mistake people make when writing a script for YouTube videos is writing like they're writing something that's meant to be read. That's why the first tip is to write in your own speaking voice. It's important to use your own verbiage and write the script as if you're having a conversation with your audience. Imagine that you're talking to a friend or a family member. This will help you sound way more natural and authentic on camera. Also, be sure to avoid jargon. Even though I just said you should write in your own voice, you still need to use language your audience will understand. Unless you're making a video for a specific industry or profession, using jargon can be confusing for your viewers and it might turn them off from your video. So, use simple, clear language that your audience can relate to. If you have to use a technical term or industry jargon that your audience might not be familiar with, be sure to explain it in simple terms so that your viewers can follow along. Tip 2. Practice and use a voice recording app. Using a teleprompter is a skill that takes time to develop, and recording yourself with a voice recording app can help you improve your delivery and pacing. Start by reading your script out loud without the teleprompter, and record yourself with the voice recording app on your phone. This will help you get a feel for the flow and pacing of your script and identify areas where you need to improve. In my experience, I find that it takes people at least 5 tries before they get their script right. Some people a lot more than 5, so that it sounds natural and not like you're reading from a teleprompter. So practicing before filming is super important because it'll make the filming a much faster and smoother process, and the video will also be a lot more professional and engaging. You may also find that after recording yourself, you don't like the script. Maybe it doesn't sound like you, or there's something else that's not quite right. If that happens, go back and revise the script. In fact, it's a great way to ensure that you're writing in your own speaking voice. Even for me, while writing the script for this video, I went back and revised it in certain spots because it didn't sound right. And yes, I'm actually using a teleprompter while filming this video. Tip 3. Set up the teleprompter correctly. When you're finally ready to start filming your video with a teleprompter, you'll want to set up your camera far enough away so that when you're reading from the teleprompter, the audience doesn't notice your eyes going back and forth as you read your script. It can also help to adjust the margins on your teleprompter app to be a bit narrower so that the text fits within the width of your camera lens. But most of the time, if your camera is about 3 to 4 feet away from you, that should be pretty good. And since you're likely to be using a teleprompter app, you'll need to play around with the settings on the app to adjust the scrolling speed and the font to work with how you speak. Some teleprompter apps have an automatic scrolling function that moves the text according to your voice. Personally, I found that it sometimes works really well, but usually it's easier to just let the text scroll by itself. If you don't have a teleprompter or need a teleprompter app recommendation, I'll include links in the description for the teleprompters I personally use and the apps that I personally like. Tip 4. Use hand gestures and body language. When you're making a video with a teleprompter, it's really important to be natural, so you don't look like you're using a teleprompter. You don't want to look stiff or robotic, so be sure to use hand gestures and body language like you normally would. Tip 5. How to deal with mistakes. It's okay if you make a mistake while filming with a teleprompter. If you stumble over a word or use the wrong intonation or flub up in some other way, you don't need to start from the beginning of the script. Instead, you can simply stop speaking, move the text on the teleprompter back to the start of the section or paragraph before the mistake, and start from that point. Of course, if you mess up right near the start of the video, then it's probably better to just start over from the beginning. Sorry, Most importantly though, don't get too upset at yourself if you make a mistake and have to start over. I totally get it that it's frustrating to make mistakes, but reacting with frustration or feeling dejected doesn't help, especially if you're just getting started making YouTube videos. For sure, it's okay to let off a little steam, but try to collect yourself as quickly as possible by taking a few deep breaths, getting a drink of water, or just closing your eyes and refocusing. It might even be good to remind yourself why you're making YouTube videos in the first place. But making mistakes might also be because you didn't practice. If that's the case, go back to tip number 2 and get in some practice first. And if you find that when you watch the video to see how you did, and you think you need to work on being good on camera, check out the video I made about how to be good on camera.